It was past midnight. The city had grown quiet, not completely silent, but calm enough that even the smallest sound felt noticeable. A cold breeze moved slowly through the empty street, carrying dust along the pavement. Streetlights flickered above, casting long, stretched shadows that made everything look unfamiliar. Rayan was walking home. His steps were slow, his body tired after a long day. His mind wasn't focused on anything important, just the simple thought of reaching home, resting and ending the day. Then he saw her. At first, she looked like any other person standing near the roadside. But something felt wrong. She wasn't moving, not even slightly. And in her arms, she held a small child, wrapped tightly in worn fabric. Rayan slowed down. His instincts told him to stay careful. The woman lifted her head and looked directly at him. Her eyes reflected the light in a way that didn't feel natural, not threatening, but not normal either. She took a slow step forward. "Please," she said. Her voice sounded strained, like she was forming human words with effort. Rayan didn't respond immediately. He stayed where he was, watching, analyzing. "Just one night," she continued softly. "Feed my daughter. I will leave after." Rayan's gaze shifted toward the child. The small girl looked weak. Her breathing was slow, uneven. Under the streetlight, her skin carried a faint glow, subtle but impossible to ignore. That was enough. They were not human. Rayan knew it instantly. His body tensed. This was not a situation to take lightly. He should walk away. Anyone would. But he didn't. Instead, he looked around. The street was empty. No witnesses, no help, no one else to make the choice. He looked back at the woman. Her grip around the child tightened slightly, not in fear, but in protection. That detail mattered. "Who are you?" Rayan asked quietly. The woman hesitated, then answered, "Not from here." Silence followed. The wind passed between them again. Rayan exhaled slowly. He thought for a moment, then made a decision. "Come with me," he said. The woman froze. Her expression changed, not fully understanding what she had just heard. Rayan turned toward his house. "This isn't just for one night," he added calmly. And just like that, something small, quiet, and unexpected began to change everything. Rayan pushed the door open and stepped inside first. He didn't rush. He didn't look back immediately either. He simply left the door slightly open, giving her a choice. For a few seconds, nothing happened. The night outside stayed silent. Then, soft footsteps. The woman entered, slowly, carefully. Her eyes moved across the room the moment she stepped in, scanning everything, the walls, the furniture, the corners, even the ceiling. She wasn't just looking, she was understanding. Rayan closed the door. The sound echoed lightly in the quiet house. Now there was no going back. "Sit," he said, pointing toward a chair near the table. The woman didn't sit right away. She stood still, watching him closely, as if measuring every movement, every intention. Then, after a moment, she sat down, gently, still holding her daughter close. Rayan walked into the kitchen. He kept his movements simple. No sudden actions, no noise, nothing that could make the situation tense again. He filled a glass with water, took out some bread, a little fruit. Nothing special, just enough. When he returned, he placed the food in front of her without saying anything. The woman looked at it, then at him. "You are not afraid?" she asked quietly. Rayan paused for a moment. He thought about the question, then answered honestly, "I am." The woman didn't react, so he continued, "But I'm more afraid of ignoring someone who needs help." Silence settled between them again. But this time, it felt different. The woman lowered her gaze. Her hands moved carefully as she adjusted her hold on the child. Then she began feeding her daughter slowly, patiently. The child stirred. Her small eyes opened. Ryan noticed them clearly this time. They were different, not human, but not dangerous, just unfamiliar. He sat across from them, watching quietly. "We are not safe here," the woman said after a moment. Ryan nodded slightly. "Maybe not," he replied, then added, "But tonight, you are." The woman looked at him again, longer this time, studying him, trying to understand him. And for the first time since she arrived, her grip on her daughter loosened just a little. Not from fear, but from something new, a small beginning of trust. The house felt quieter now, but not empty. There was life in it, soft breathing, small movement, a presence that hadn't been there before. Ryan sat across from the woman, his posture relaxed but his attention sharp. He wasn't afraid anymore, but he was still careful. "Tell me," he said calmly. "Why are you here?" The woman didn't answer immediately. Her hand moved gently across her daughter's head, slow and protective. It was not just a habit. It was reassurance. Then she spoke. "We ran," she said. Her voice was steady, but something deeper moved beneath it. "From our own sky." Ryan frowned slightly, listening. "Our kind does not stay in one place," she continued. "We travel, we observe, we learn." She paused for a moment, then added, "We do not fight." Ryan leaned forward slightly. "But someone else does?" he asked. The woman nodded slowly. "There was an attack." Her eyes lowered. "We were not ready. We were not meant for war." The words carried weight, not fear, but loss. Ryan didn't interrupt. He understood that silence mattered here. "We escaped," she continued. "Not many did." Her voice softened. "We lost our people, our place, our path." The child shifted slightly in her arms, as if reacting to the tone. The woman held her closer. Ryan exhaled quietly. "Why come here?" he asked. The woman looked at him again. "Because humans survive," she said. That answer surprised him. "Survive?" he repeated. "You adapt," she said, "even when you don't understand." Ryan gave a small nod. "That's true." She lowered her gaze again. "But humans also fear what they don't understand." Ryan didn't deny it. "That's also true." Silence filled the room again. But this silence was heavier. Honest. "That is why I asked for only one night," she said. Ryan leaned back slightly, then spoke. "But what you need?" He paused for a moment. "Is more than one night." The woman looked up. This time, there was something different in her eyes. Not just fear, not just exhaustion, but something else. Something she hadn't allowed herself to feel before. Possibility. The room felt warmer now. Not because of the temperature, but because the distance between them had begun to fade. Ryan stood near the table, thinking quietly. The woman watched him, not with suspicion anymore, but with curiosity. "Why are you helping us?" she asked. Her voice was calm, direct, not questioning his actions, but trying to understand them. Ryan looked at her, then at the child. "Because you asked," he replied simply. The woman frowned slightly. "That is not enough reason," she said. Ryan gave a small, thoughtful smile. "It is for me." The answer was simple, but it carried weight. Silence followed. This time it felt different, lighter. The child slowly shifted, her small hands reaching toward the table. She touched its surface carefully, feeling its texture as if it was something new. Ryan noticed. He moved a glass slightly closer to her. The child looked at it, then at him. No fear, only curiosity. "You do not see us as a threat," the woman said. Ryan shook his head. "I see a mother trying to protect her child." That answer changed something. The woman's shoulders relaxed slightly. Her posture softened. For the first time, she allowed herself to breathe without tension. "You are not like others," she said. Rayan leaned back lightly. Maybe others didn't get the chance to understand, he replied. The woman looked around the house again, this time not as someone passing through, but as someone thinking about staying. The idea was new, strange, but not impossible anymore. Time moved differently inside the house. What once felt like hours of silence now filled itself with small, meaningful sounds. The soft steps of the child echoed lightly across the floor. The quiet movement of objects being touched, examined, and understood replaced the emptiness that once defined the space. The child had grown stronger. Her breathing was steady now, her body no longer weak. She began walking slowly, holding on to nearby furniture for balance. Each step was careful, but determined. Rayan stayed close, not controlling her movements, just guiding them. He showed her how to hold a cup without dropping it, how to sit properly at the table, how to repeat simple human words. Her voice was soft, different, but she learned quickly. The woman watched everything. At first, she remained distant, observing, analyzing. Her kind did not trust easily. But days passed, and something began to change. She noticed something unexpected. Rayan never asked for anything in return. He didn't question them endlessly. He didn't treat them as something unusual to be studied. He simply helped. One evening, as the child sat quietly arranging small objects on the floor, the woman spoke. "In our world," she said softly, "trust is not given easily." Rayan nodded. "That sounds familiar." She looked at him. "But you trusted us quickly." Rayan thought for a moment, then replied, "I didn't trust what you are." He paused. "I trusted what you showed." The woman understood. That difference mattered. Her gaze softened completely now. No hesitation. "You changed our path," she said quietly. Rayan shook his head. "You were already moving," he replied. "I just didn't stop you." The child looked up at them and smiled. A small moment, but it carried something powerful. For the first time since arriving, the woman allowed herself to feel safe, not because the world had changed, but because she had found a place within it. The calm didn't last forever. Late one night, the silence returned, but this time it felt different, sharper, heavier, filled with something unseen. Then came the knock. Rayan froze. The woman reacted instantly. She stood up in one smooth motion, her entire posture shifting from calm to alert. Her eyes sharpened, scanning the space. "They found us," she whispered. Rayan moved toward the door. Slowly, carefully, he looked outside. Two men stood there watching, not casual, not random. They were searching. Rayan stepped back. The woman's voice lowered. "They will not leave easily." Rayan looked at her. "And neither will I," he replied calmly. He turned off the lights, closed the curtains. The house fell into darkness, silent, still. The child moved closer to her mother, sensing the tension. The woman placed a protective hand over her. "You should let us go," she said quietly. "We will only bring danger here." Rayan shook his head. "No." The answer was firm, final. "I made a choice," he continued. "I'm not changing it now." The knock came again, stronger this time. But Rayan didn't move. He stood between the door and them. Time slowed. Then, footsteps outside shifted, voices faded. The presence disappeared, the danger passed. For now, the woman looked at him. This time, not with doubt, but with complete trust. Morning arrived slowly. Soft light filled the house, replacing the tension of the night before with calm. Outside, everything looked normal, quiet, peaceful, as if nothing had happened. Inside, however, everything had changed. The house no longer felt temporary. It had become something else. The child sat on the floor, fully active now. Her movements were confident, her strength fully returned. She explored her surroundings without hesitation, touching, learning, adapting. Rayan watched from a distance, calm, content. The woman stood near the window, looking outside, thinking. After a moment, she turned. "You could have refused," she said. Rayan nodded slightly. "But I didn't." She stepped closer. "You gave us more than one night." Rayan looked at the child, then replied, "You needed more than one night." Her expression softened completely. No fear, no hesitation, only understanding. "In our world," she said slowly, "help like this is never forgotten." Rayan smiled lightly. "I didn't do it to be remembered." She shook her head. "That is why it matters." Silence followed, but this time, it felt complete. The child looked up at both of them, and then she laughed, a real laugh, full of life. It filled the entire room. Rayan looked at her, then at the woman. The woman spoke softly. "You gave us a future." Rayan shook his head. "No. We built it." And in that moment, there was no difference between them. Not human, not alien. Just something rare, something real. A family.